What's up, everyone? Welcome to Talkin Grizz, presented by Wiseacre Brewery. I'm Kelcey Wright Johnson. Across the screen from me today is Mr. Tim MacMahon from ESPN. Tim, how are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good as well. Let's dive right in because I don't want to take a lot of your time. This season, Tim, has been so unprecedented. We don't know what's going to happen from day to day. We get crazy news every single day. So there was a media availability a couple days ago, I know you were on as well, where Tyus Jones from the Memphis Grizzlies had said the team who has kind of the biggest chemistry or the closest knit group is going to find success early in this bubble. From your kind of experience and your reporting around the league, what do you think is going to be that main thing teams are going to be relying on when there's, no fans and they haven't been together in months? What's going to bring that success for the team?
Well, I mean, certainly I think chemistry is going to be important. And I think that, honestly, I think the teams that are wasting energy complaining, oh, the hotel's not this, the food's not that, you can create distractions from that. I think the teams that are kind of grateful to be playing basketball, figuring out ways to enjoy it, almost making it feel like sort of an AAU type atmosphere or a summer camp type of atmosphere. I think that's an advantage, just because to me, if you're creating negative energy, that there's no upside to that. Where I think for a team like the Grizzlies, just as an example, I think maybe that's a little bit easier because these guys really aren't very far removed in a lot of cases from that AAU scene. So, I thought what Jaren Jackson Jr. said was pretty funny too, where he said, "Oh yeah, just being by myself, like I'm an only child. This isn't that new to me."
I've got my PS4. Life's good.
Yes.
Okay, so speaking of the Grizzlies then, you brought it up, not me. There is 6 teams right now kind of vying for that number 8 spot in the Western Conference, obviously kind of headlined by Zion and Damian Lillard. There's 8 seeding games to kind of essentially decide that. Straight up, what's your prediction?
Well, look, I think that the Grizzlies have a lot of, they've got a lot of things in their favor. Obviously, they've got the cushion. If it's within 4 games, first of all, I don't think they will slip out of the 8 seed during that 8-game seeding schedule. So let's assume whether it's Portland, whether it's New Orleans, perhaps even Sacramento, probably not the Spurs, but let's assume that there is a play-in scenario. Well, that's heavily tilted toward the Grizzlies, assuming they are the 8 seed, as it should be, in that, the other team has to beat them twice in a row. The Grizzlies have to go 1 for 2. The other team's got to go 2 for 2. And so, I don't think that the Grizzlies are going to have the sort of meltdown where they would lose the 8th spot during the seeding games, although their schedule's tough. And again, I just think this is a team that has been exceeding expectations all season. I think it'll be interesting to see what kind of impact Justice Winslow can have. Obviously, they're adding a major piece, but they do at least have the advantage of having him for essentially a training camp before his debut. I just don't, obviously playoff experience is going to be an advantage for, if it's New Orleans or Portland for their opponent, especially in the case of Portland. But I don't get the sense that the Grizzlies are a team that will feel a lot of pressure. They don't strike me as a nervous team. John Moran in particular strikes me as a guy who's very comfortable kind of in big moments. And we've seen that in a lot of close late games this season. I think we'd see that same type of dynamic from him if it is a play-in scenario.
And now, so when you talk about those teams that, are most likely to kind of catch up or get into that play-in scenario, it would be, I'm assuming, with Zion and with Dame. Yeah. Out of those 2 teams, which one do you think would give the Grizzlies, the best shot to go forward?
I'm going to say Portland just because I think, all due respect to Zion Williamson, I think Damian Lillard is the most dangerous player just because of the experience he has. The fact that, we saw last year in the first round where he has completely dominated a playoff series. This is a guy who's hit 2, walk-off series endings shots in his career, including the most spectacular one in NBA history last year, where he kind of waved goodbye to Russell Westbrook and that literally ended Russell Westbrook's time with the Thunder. And then obviously CJ McCollum, it's a team that went to the West Finals last year, got swept when they got there, but still, having said all that, I think Pelicans fans, if they're watching this, would say, was just a couple of years ago that Drew Holiday absolutely dominated a Pelicans Blazers playoff series and was the best guard on the floor. So, I don't think it's clear cut, but again, just because of Damian Lillard really being a fringe MVP type of player, I would give the edge to the Blazers.
Awesome. Tim, as always, it's so nice to talk to you. I appreciate your time today. And everyone back home, you can get more Grind City Media coverage on grindcitymedia.com.